Let me know when you're ready.
Thank you, Daddy.
All right, I have your blessing.
If making it easy to be an illegal alien isn't enough,
government is another way to say better than you.
In fact, you know how fast a 5-cent hooker goes down.
no sane country would do that.
Cruz and Kasich are in it for a participation trophy.
Oh, what you represent to them is freedom.
Hosted by the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash.
Just remember, all hate mail comes to me.
The Southside Mutt Show.
Cheerleader. I don't have the boots for it.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. Welcome to the Southside Mutt Show, hosted by the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash. We are digging up the dirt on the news. You're a douchebag, you know that? We actually got Crash here this week. We should all feel honored he showed up. Oh, you douche.
Well, it took me a few weeks to, try to get over all the laughing hysteria that I've been going through with the freaking libtard meltdown.
No, I figured what it is you have that the liberal crying transformed into an actual communicable disease and has gotten in the waterways of certain states and is infesting it because the Californians had it for a while now.
Now it's ironic that you were to bring that up. There was actually a news article that I'd read, and it had
Congratulations.
to do with yes, hooked on phonics worked for me. It had to do with, do you live in certain states? And there was a correlation factor that they used, and it was the states that pretty much unanimously voted for Hillary Clinton are also the states that are in the worst shape financially, employment-wise, and have the highest ratio. If you look at number of people moving out of the state compared to people moving in, they have the highest ratio of people leaving the state.
California, New York.
And I freaking New Jersey.
New Jersey.
I was laughing my ass off.
And the problem is they're moving to conservative states and fucking up those states. Well, I want to talk about something real quick, and I mean real quick because we've touched on it before, but I was watching a Tucker Carlson show on Fox, and I love watching it. It's funny, but he had this climate scientist or right or whatever he thinks he is, and he's going around saying that, if you don't believe in climate change, you don't have a right to believe in any type of science. And he actually brought out about the 97% of the scientists around the world say climate change is real. So he got confronted with the number again. And as normal, they can't answer it because they don't research. They just know to parrot that number. So I want to give the facts again. That 97% of the scientists believe in climate change. How they got that number, it wasn't a poll of actual scientists. Scientists that wrote a paper saying there is climate change, they were given their papers again to look over and asked if they were changing their theories. And 97% of the scientists that looked at it said their paper still stands. And that's how they got that number. It's not there's a bunch of scientists running around saying there's actual climate change. And the best one, he said there's proof because a scientist said that in California, to prove that there's climate change, there will be wet weather. And there will be dry seasons. And what's California having? Dry seasons and sometimes rainy seasons.
Well, wait, hold on. Based on that scientific method right there, could I not also postulate that? Yes, and go ahead and look that word up, Reaver.
I know what it is, you jackass.
Could I not also state that we are on the edge of an ice age because it is sub-zero temperatures in the Arctic? I mean, based on their logic, couldn't I just say the exact same thing?
And based on their logic, you can
global
come up with
warming?
any conclusion that you want, as long as they agree with it, of course.
Oh, actually, there was a scientific study that I saw. Well, not really a scientific study. It was more just a journal piece or whatever. But I actually have.
Well, they claim
everybody's
they're
yelling at me.
scientific pieces.
Whatever. And the fact of the matter, you know what? Here's the thing. All joking aside, no seriousness. Yes, I know there is a lot of serious science behind the changing weather and all the rest of the stuff. But here's the thing. Any serious science, any serious scientist, or any serious science study that looks at the core samples of the Arctic ice and looks at the stratified layers in excavations and digging and the sides of the Grand Canyon and other geological markers will tell you that the world goes through dramatic shifts.
Yep.
I mean, we had a mini ice age within the past few hundred years. It happens. Okay, it's part of a living organism. The Earth is a living organism. It is alive. And just like us, it goes through stages. And at times, it has to kind of kick things in one direction to balance something that went in another direction. Now, I'm not saying that we aren't affecting this. I know we are. Okay, I mean, we never, up until 100 and some odd years ago, we didn't have fossil fuels burning at the rate that they are nowadays. But that's a whole other topic.
Yeah, but we also had hotter weather even before we started burning fossil fuels.
Yes, true, and we'll touch on that in just one second. But what I want to touch on real quick is this paper made a very, very interesting point, and it was hold on, what?
It's absolutely ridiculous because this does not mean that I don't believe that we shouldn't protect, that we shouldn't be cautious. I do believe that we should be cautious and we should be careful with how we treat Mother Earth. We shouldn't run around polluting. There should be some regulations, but not to the point that it strangles our economy and strangles our ability to exist.
Agreed. Okay, we should not hamstring ourselves.
Right.
However, what I also don't think that we should be doing, more so than anything else, is, and honestly, this fucking administration, thank God, what's the countdown? You got the countdown. What is it?
What's today? The 4th? 16 days, less than 16 days because today's almost done with.
Yes.
It's on the 20th.
Okay. Thank God they are almost out. Okay? And I know he's doing everything he freaking can to screw shit up on his way out the goddamn door.
He's like that ex-girlfriend that you break up with and she breaks everything on the way out.
Well, I always said Obama was a little bitch, so it makes sense. But everybody, you know what? He's yelling and screaming about climate change. He's yelling and screaming,
the science is done.
Well, we need to drop our carbon emissions. We need to save the environment. We need to take a stand. We need to do this. Blah 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 blah. Okay, he's going to the UN Council. They're giving all these speeches. They got all these scientists writing reports. Okay, that's great and good. Now, why is it that nobody's over in China yelling at them about their carbon emissions that are at the point where their fucking residents, like their citizens, have to wear masks when they go out of their houses at certain points? They've actually linked cancers in California, in Oregon, in Arizona, on the western coast, the western states. There are people suffering from exposure to toxins that are airborne due to improper fossil fuel burning. And guess what? The crap that they're exposed to was outlawed in the United States decades ago.
Yeah. Well, when it
only
comes to
civilized
these
country that
plants,
still uses it,
coal-burning
is Asia,
plants.
and because of the weather patterns, all of their crap comes over the fucking ocean and lands on our fucking soil, and we're the ones paying the healthcare bills for it.
I had one of these climate change personnel ask me what makes me so positive about like coal plants. I said because back in the 70s, I know that the scrubbers were put in, and it was put in almost negative or pure air. And I got, what site did you read that off? And I was like, I didn't read it off any site. Oh, now you're just making up stuff. Nope. That came from my father, who put the fucking scrubbers into those plants. Who was sitting up there taking measurements of everything. That's the exhaust that comes out of there is cleaner than what comes into the goddamn plant.
Yep.
Everybody sees the white smoke and, oh my God!
Yep, and any person that has ever worked in fire suppression, in fire services, any type of fossil fuel, anything where combustion is part of the thing, the whiter or the clearer the smoke,
the better. Oh, not always.
The more clean it was burned. And you know what? For all you naysayers that don't buy that,
well, it's steam coming out mostly.
Hold on. What is it when you see a car driving down the road and they got that thick black exhaust? You start yelling at them about, oh, you need to change your oil. You have to have your engine worked on. Well, yeah, they do. And the reason they have that exhaust is their car's not providing complete combustion, asshole.
Not always, because you have the diesels that will emit a black smoke, and it's actually cleaner than the clear smoke that comes, or the clear exhaust that comes out of a car.
Is that what we're talking?
The black smoke that comes out of diesels. Okay? That's actually more environmentally friendly than the exhaust that comes out of your car when it's working perfect. It may be black smoke, but
diesel burns better.
Yeah.
Diesel gives you more complete combustion. It gives you a much better power ratio. There's a reason why diesel was king.
Oh, the next car I'm looking at like an SUV with a diesel engine in it.
I want to get a pickup truck with a diesel engine in it.
Well, because of my dogs and stuff, I want to get it. And I haven't done it in a long time, but I love fishing. I want to get it. What is it? Expedition's the next one up from the Explorer. And it comes.
First of all, you do not. Look. First of all, it's not going to matter whether you have a pickup truck or an Explorer when you go to the strip club to find tail. Okay, I'm just saying. Doesn't matter what your vehicle is.
Exactly. Well, I want to get a diesel. So.
Just saying.
All right. Actually, that was just thrown in, that talk about the damn climate change. The article I had up, I have two articles specifically brought up for tonight that I know me and you have talked about extensively. The one you're going to love, but you're also going to be pissed at the same time because it's not directly going to affect you right now, and it's going to piss you off. But first, yesterday, Senator Cruz and Representative DeSantis introduced a the constitutional amendment. Can you guess what that was?
You said constitutional amendment?
Yep, from two conservatives.
Crap. Well, wait, you say Cruz?
And DeSantis.
All right, what'd he do?
They put in a constitutional amendment for term limits for Congress.
You serious?
I'm dead serious. It was put in yesterday, first day of Congress. They put in a constitutional amendment that will impose term limits on Congress. U.S. senators will be allowed 2 6-year terms, so that's 12 years. That's acceptable. Technically, it would be three terms that technically would be because they go, 6, 2, and 4, but 12 years. I understand why they put the 2 6-year terms because trying to break it up would be a little bit more weird. And the House of Representatives would be allowed 3 2-year terms. And that would be...
So House of Representatives are allowed 6 years in office, and senators are allowed 12 years in office.
Yes, because of the way the terms go, because you got the 6 years term, then it's a 2, then it's a 4.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand is you have a difference in length of the terms, but there's also there's a drastic difference in the number of representatives and senators. It's based on 2 different algorithms.
Well, think about it. For the longest time, the state House of Representatives picked who their 2 senators were going to be. They weren't elected by the people originally.
Now, see, here's the question that I have, though. If you've fulfilled your terms, if you've gone your term limit as a representative, do you then get another 12 years if you get elected in the Senate?
Yeah.
And then do you then get another 8 years if you're elected a president?
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that. If you are good enough that you can get worked up.
No, hold on. I mean, don't take it as I have a problem with that.
No.
I'm just curious if they're leaving it so that can't occur. Because my way of looking at that is, it's easier to become a House of Representatives. It's easier to become a member of the House than it is to become a senator. It's easier to become a senator than it is to become a president. So it's no different than working your way up through the fucking ranks.
Yep.
That's all it is.
And I have no problem with that, but it's forcing fresh blood into the House. So we don't have these lifetime politicians.
Yep.
And that's what I'm tired of.
Because just by attrition, you push the fresh blood into the House, that's going to triculate into the Senate, and that's going to triculate into the White House.
Well, within the first 2 days, they've been pretty busy.
Take some time.
They've been pretty busy in both the House and the Senate. This was put in through the Senate, and this will take years to go through, because even once it's passed, it still has to go to the states and get ratified. But if we can get the Congress to approve it, it's pretty much a done deal at that point, because I don't think there's any states that would be against term limits.
Certain senators like Feinstein.
Nah, I don't think many of them would fight it too much. They know it's been coming.
The thing is, this has been a long time coming. A big part of the reason why this has been, it's never really been moved on, is look who's been in charge. Yeah. This is the first time in a long time that.
Now let me go on. I want to touch on 2.
Hold on. This is what they're going to kick out of that. Everybody's scared of it. That's good.
Now, as I said, they've been busy. They put this forth. The Senate today had an impromptu vote on a budget that had the repeal of Obamacare in it. That passed. They're in the process of repealing this and replacing it for the damn liberals because they're freaking out about it. No, this is not going to defund your Social Security. It's not going to defund Medicaid. It's not going to defund Medicare. It is a way to fix the system that they screwed up. Now, the article I know you're going to like, the bill that was put forth, it was put forth on the first day. You're going to love it and you're going to hate it. You ready? What the heck are you doing there? Remodeling?
Recycle.
So the GOP in the House have put forth a bill, a national concealed carry reciprocity bill on day one.
Okay.
Now, for someone like me who has his concealed carry permit, it will allow me then to carry in every goddamn state. But unfortunately, since you can't get your concealed carry permit because you're in such a communist state, it would not change that you can't get it.
No, hold on. No, I got a problem with that. And I believe I've got a valid argument for the problem with that.
I knew you would, so.
Okay. Well, just hear me out. Okay. So the bill is national reciprocity for concealed carry permit holders.
Right.
Okay. So you live in the state where you are able to obtain a concealed carry.
Yep.
They're a real issue state, so to speak.
Yes, they are.
All right, so you go to Arizona, which is also a real issue. You can carry your firearms there legally.
Yes.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. You go to a state such as New Jersey, which is more of a shall issue state. You can carry your firearm. Would that be correct?
Correct. It doesn't matter what their laws are for the citizens.
Okay. Now that's why I have a problem with it, though, because that's essentially saying the federal government is then saying that an out-of-state resident has more rights than an in-state resident. How is that any different than what the current administration is doing by saying that an immigrant from another country has more rights than a U.S. citizen?
But what this is doing is saying nationally that if you have this, they're forcing the states to recognize. Recognize. Step up and recognize.
I wasn't. Okay. And I wasn't done. If it applies to any and all states that have the same permit status, such as like you going to Arizona, you going to Alaska, you going to Pennsylvania,
right.
Other states that have the same type of issue status, I have zero problem with that, because those states are giving their citizens the exact same rights. And now it is being told that you have to extend this to any other state where those citizens are given the same rights. What I have a problem with is the federal government saying that, okay, well, you happen to live in this state, and we're going to restrict all of your rights, but any visitors who have better rights, they can exercise those rights here. So then by proxy, in Arizona, 75 miles an hour is the highway speed limit. So if somebody from Arizona comes here to visit, wouldn't they be allowed to drive 75 miles an hour on the parkway, and they could not be ticketed because...
Yeah, but I got a back door for you. I got a back door for you.
These are the rules.
I got a back door for you.
Isn't that the same shit that they're doing with the fucking Muslims right now? Come on.
I got a back door for you, though, on it. Utah, I think it is.
I don't want to see your back door.
Utah, you can go there and get a concealed carry permit from them. Not being a resident, you can go get a concealed carry permit. And this is what California is worried about. Their residents getting a Utah concealed carry.
The thing is, Jersey, I already know about that loophole. Okay, I've looked into it. And the thing is, yes, I can go get that carry permit, and what that would allow me to do is, in the state of Utah, I could carry. If they did the national reciprocity, I could carry in any other state, but I still cannot carry in my home state.
Not if you have that concealed carry. If you had that Utah on this national...
New Jersey won't recognize.
They will not have a choice. They will have to recognize the national reciprocity. That's what this is. This will be saying that as long as you have a concealed carry permit, it doesn't matter where you got it from. As long as you have... Now, it really gets confusing. Okay. It gets confusing on constitutional carry states where there is no permit. There's no card. There's no nothing.
Okay. There's that, and isn't there also the fine line? A lot of people, the conservatives and liberals, have yelled and screamed, and in all honesty, there's a lot of the conservative states that were yelling and screaming about the Obama's implementation of Obamacare, forcing the healthcare standard on states, removing the states' right to self-govern.
Yeah, but with my
be doing the same thing? I know I'm playing devil's advocate.
No. And no, that's very far away, because what that's saying is because my state is smart enough to recognize our constitutional right to self-defense and carry. The government saying that we have that right no matter which border. Now, I look at it as this way. If we can get that through, that's one step forward where they could start working on the states like New Jersey and California and these other states, where we can then but make them recognize that, hey, this is a national law that they have to recognize. It's constitutional law, and they have to recognize it with carrying a weapon. So it's...
The funny thing is, And actually, here's something I want to kind of point out when it comes to the whole carrying the firearm. And this is one thing I think a lot of people don't realize. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to agree with it or not, but I don't give a shit. Everybody wants to equate it to the old West, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's walking around with a six-shooter. Everybody's strapped. Hold on. Damn it. What's up?
Let me actually jump in why he's dealing with that. When it comes to that, and they talk about, it will be the Wild Wild West. Wild Wild West was not as the movies portrayed it to be. Wild Wild West wasn't as violent as they portrayed. It was a lot better and more peaceful than they actually portrayed. And if you notice, the movies always portray the same events over and over in different storytelling. Well, tell you what, it's about that time. We're going to hit a commercial. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense. Southside Much So. And we will be right back with Bumbling Idiot myself.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Good morning.
I'm Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Okay, folks, that's not how it goes. I think I'm Shannon, and you're so. Michael.
Yeah.
Okay. We are The Right Way with Shannon and Mike.
Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Live on SHR Media.
And on TECN.
Where we'll be talking about all kinds of things.
From sports and politics.
To food and entertainment.
To money.
Family.
And anything else in between.
Community, holidays, all kinds of things.
It'll be great. Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our Gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
The bloviating Zeppelin. He's big-footed enough radio shows to last a lifetime, courtesy of Sean, Clint, Ken, and Jersey Joe. Now it's time for him to waddle on his own 2 feet via the glorious SHR Media. Gird thy loins for the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon. Coming soon to Ossicles near you. Excelsior.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
Listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
And welcome back to the Southside Much Show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here with Crash. All right, you want to continue the conversation? Because the conversation continued off air, and we decided to stop it and go back on air to discuss this.
All right, let me make one thing very clear, okay, to all of our listeners. I don't have a problem with somebody from another state concealed carrying in my state. Okay? I don't have the right to conceal carry. Do I have a problem with that? Yes, I do.
And so do I.
But does that mean I have a problem? Does that mean I have a problem with a Florida resident who is legally concealed carrying? No. I have no problem with that because that's not their fault. They're exercising a right that I wish my state would recognize. Now, would I want the federal government to back me on this? Yes, I would. Right. Now, the thing is, and this is, I'm kind of on both sides of the issue. I've already stated my point where the overreaching and you're granting a right to somebody who's not a citizen is that you're denying to a citizen. That I have a problem with. Overreaching government federal regulations, I have a problem with. However, it does mitigate one big problem that I have seen in the state of New Jersey. One of the biggest problems with firearms regulations, and for those of us who are sportsmen who pay attention to the different rules, we really try to make sure that we're in the know on as much as we possibly can. We don't fall into these traps, but for the most part. However, for the, I don't want to say the lay person, but for the person that, the single mom or dad that wants to protect their family, and they go to the range and they take a safety course and they get proficient in basic firearm safety, and they're doing everything right, and and that's all they're interested in. They're not going to educate themselves. They're not even going to think necessarily to educate themselves on all of the different state laws that surround them. The problem has always been if you cross a state line, you're no longer subject to your state of residence. You're subject to the host state.
And you still would be.
So you have a single. But now, see, this is the one thing that I do like that law would remove. You have a single mom from Pennsylvania who has no record, no problems with the law, has had a concealed carry permit for years, is coming on vacation to Atlantic City, and wants to go to the range while she's in Atlantic City. She follows all of the laws that she is aware of. However, in the state of New Jersey, regardless of where you're from or what your intentions are, the transportation of a firearm needs to be out of the reach of a driver, needs to be unloaded, and the ammunition needs to be secured in a separate container or compartment from the actual firearm, and it cannot be in reach of the passenger compartment unless it's in a locked container out of the driver's reach, essentially. That's a little bit of paraphrasing, but that's the intent of it. She broke that rule, so she's a concealed carry weapons license holder in Pennsylvania. She crosses over in New Jersey. She is arrested and charged with the carrying of a concealed weapon. She loses her job. Her kids have to almost go to foster care. And she's locked up for months until finally our supposed Second Amendment, governor steps in and pardons her. That's a bunch of bullshit. It never should have fucking happened. I think the prosecutor in Atlantic County, which happens to be my county, needs to get browbeat for being a pompous asshole.
Yeah, but this was also the same prosecutor that let Ray Rice off with a slap on the wrist, too.
Yep. That's the same guy.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you know what? I actually wasn't even going to bring that point up, but good point, Jersey.
Now,
same goddamn son of a bitch.
Now, what's funny is if I wanted to come up and visit you, I could concealed carry all the way up right now until I hit New Jersey border.
Mm-hmm.
36 states.
Well, no. Hold on. You couldn't go to Washington, D.C.
Yeah, I could avoid D.C.
Washington, D.C. You'd have to circumvent D.C.
Yeah.
But if you circumvented the District of Columbia, yes, you could.
Yeah. But yeah, it's 36 states we have a reciprocity with.
Yep.
So
the funny thing, like we were saying off air, I can go to any other state I have a New Jersey driver's license. I can go to any other state, and I'm allowed to legally operate a motor vehicle. I could legally operate a tractor trailer if I had a Class A, correct? I mean, you're more aware of the CDLs than I am. Could I not?
Say that one again.
You're more aware of CDL regulations than I am, but if I had a CDL, I could use my CDL New Jersey license in any other state, correct?
Yeah, it's a federally recognized license.
Mm-hmm. I've got a New Jersey boat license. You know, we recognize the licensing ability of other states, but not all things. I mean, for medical licenses, for EMTs, paramedics, we don't. We have a challenge process.
Yep.
Okay, I go to Arizona. I have to challenge them. Well, okay, why can't I challenge them on firearms? Okay, you want to know that I'm proficient? Okay, I go down to the range. I take a written test. I put up a target. I put some rounds down range. You deem that I'm proficient? Hey, I get my fucking license. Why is that not allowed? Why can't we do that? I mean, you know, and the first thing that I know a lot of people will say is, well, every state has a different set of rules. Okay, fine.
It's your responsibility to find out those rules. Still, it would be.
Well, no. I mean the licensing rules. The actual test you have to pass to get a license, not to challenge for one, not to transfer one, but to initially get it. So here's my question. In the state of New Jersey, to get a driver's license, I have to be able to parallel park. In the state of Florida, to get a driver's license, I do not have to parallel park. However, if I get a Florida driver's license, I can then come up to New Jersey, go to the DMV, and say, I'm transferring residency. Oh, okay, Mr. Crash, here's your New Jersey driver's license. Thank you for turning in your Florida one. We don't give a shit if you can parallel park or not.
Yeah.
Really? The fact of the matter is, the rest.
Well, some states give the license or the test in Spanish or other languages, while some states don't. So
let's not even go down that fucking.
Oh, I know, it pissed you off, but the point is, some states allow that, and that could be a danger within itself.
It is a freaking danger in itself.
Yeah, I know it is.
I flat out refuse. Anybody who's listened to this long enough knows enough about what you and I have done. They know that you and I have both been instructors. I teach licensing courses. I teach courses to license people to operate certain types of machinery. If I do not have another licensed instructor as an interpreter that I trust, I will not certify somebody in a foreign language. I will not do it. I don't give a shit if I have all the materials, because I'm not 100% sure that they actually fucking understand a goddamn thing that I have to say. And if you want to say that that's biased, go ahead. I've already won my case in court numerous times. Bring it on. I'm a little bored tonight. We need a call-in for this damn show.
I have a call-in set up, but
nobody listens to us, I know.
No, it's just I never got anybody calling in during the daytime, so I stopped giving out the number. That's all.
Dude, if you have the number, I'll start calling in the daytime just to fuck with you.
Well, you have the direct line. You don't have the other line. You have the direct line, you dumbass.
Yeah, but if I use the other line, I could mess with my voice. You don't know it's me, and I could screw with you. You know?
Well, it comes through on my phone
because I'm not doing anything.
I see a 609 number coming in. I'm going to be thinking it's you. Dumbass.
I got ways around that too.
Yeah.
Now this just turned into a fucking challenge. That's the problem. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. We want to wrap this one up, or we want to keep going at this one?
Well, we can go on to something else. I mean, we've talked about it, and as long as you know I'm right and you're wrong, that's all there is to it.
No, that's fine. You can think that all you want. Just who outranked who? Just professional on their own.
Yeah. All right, Chuck Schumer, who's now the House Majority Leader. He's now remember, the Democrats cried about obstructing and all that, and it's unconstitutional, and it's not right, and they shouldn't do it. Well, Schumer said he's now going to refuse to any nominations from the Republicans that they don't like. They will block every Supreme Court nomination unless it's one that they fully approve of. They won't rubber stamp anybody that they don't like. So the bitching and moaning that they did, they're now doing and just proving how much of a hypocrite they are. As the Republicans were proving, this is what, I mean, the Democrats screamed that they were going to block. It's end of the president. He doesn't have a right to do it. We're going to block. You know, they cried that for decades they were going to do that. Republicans got tired of it and actually did it. And now they land-based them, and now they're, we're going to do it.
They're fucking. You know, the thing is, and this is honestly the problem that I've got with a lot of politicians. I mean, it doesn't matter which side of the aisle you sit on. A lot of them, they're fucking hypocrites. That's all they are. I mean, I will say that if I was going to use a scale to measure the hypocrisy between the two parties, the Democratic Party is definitely more hypocritical than the Republican Party. But that does not mean that we have not. Doesn't mean that we haven't pulled that shit. We've done it. I mean, honestly, one of the biggest things I get a kick out of is the whole, they push that whole, you can't filibuster us, ha, 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 we win. Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, Schumer's now, I regret us doing it. I said we shouldn't do it to begin with, and we shouldn't have done it, and,
Yeah. But correct me if I'm wrong, isn't he an idiot from New York?
Yes.
Isn't he
his niece is Amy Schumer.
That bitch? Are you serious?
Yep, that's who she is.
Oh, I can't stand her.
Not many can.
I mean, honestly, the only thing I find comical about her is the fact that she actually thinks that she's comical. I mean, that's the only funny thing. I actually tried stomaching listening to something of hers one time.
I got headphone issues. I can't hear. There we go. Oh, I hate this guy. I got to get off my butt and replace the splitter. But yeah, that's who. It's a big goddamn joke.
Oh my god!
It's a big joke.
Whatever. You know what? Here's something I honestly, I just do want to bring up real quick. I know we're probably getting close to the show, but I do want to bring it up. And I finally had the opportunity this week to watch a movie that I've been wanting to see for a while. And I have to say, this is probably the most pissed off that I've actually been in a long ass time. I finally had the opportunity to watch 13 Hours about the Battle of Benghazi. And that movie pissed me off.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
It didn't piss me off due to the acting. It didn't piss me off because I didn't like the way that things were portrayed. It didn't piss me off because I didn't like the music. What pissed me off was the storyline and the fact that storyline is pretty fucking accurate to the actual events that transpired.
It was pretty damn close.
We have got fucking U.S. citizens at risk. We have them in armed combat fighting for their fucking lives. and we're twiddling our thumbs, and we've got jets sitting on the fucking tarmac with no pilots in them. And then when everything's all fucking said and done, it's not even U.S. transports that are used to get them the fuck out. No, it's an oil executive's private jet, and it's an Israeli military transport, which was loyal to Gaddafi.
That we overthrew.
Talk about the ultimate in fucking insults to these brave men and women. And honestly, what really, really pissed me off wasn't so much the fact that this occurred. That pissed me off, don't get me wrong. But what truly pissed me off was that this occurred. It finally had light shed on it, and I couldn't help but think, how many other similar incidents have happened to covert military operators and to U.S. citizens abroad, whether they're traveling or whether they're working in the interests of this country, who were left to fucking find their own ways out, to fucking rot, or the corpses were never recovered because our government doesn't want to take any fucking responsibility. That's what royally pissed me the fuck off. And before anybody wants to go hating on me, I'm a military brat, I'm a military fan. Go ahead, fucking try it.
Well, it's... The one I love is, well, we've had people die underneath Bush at embassies and all that rhetoric. The problem is, it's not that people died. It's one of the dangers when you do that job. It's the fact that we left them there to die, that we hung them out to dry. We don't leave our forces like that. And that's where a lot of people are pissed. And what they don't realize is how much trying to hide that incident woke a majority of the country up and pissed off a majority of the country. You have people like my father who did not believe you say negative things about a president at all. You kept to yourself. You were quiet. You respected the president. But he also, being ex-military, didn't expect our government to not just leave him out to dry, but it then tried to cover...
The president is the commander-in-chief. The president is essentially the highest-ranking military official. And he fucking left him there.
He went to sleep because he had a fundraiser the next day.
Mm-hmm.
That
is despicable. It is fucking bullshit. Now, if you want to say that, okay, they disregarded the messages prior, about, well, we need additional security. No, we don't really think that you do. Okay, we disregard that. Wait a second. You're taking fire? You've got RPGs landing? You've got small arms combatants coming through the front gate?
And the biggest thing they were asking for was a helicopter over top to give them a heads up what was out there. That was the big... They said they could have dealt with the fight. But if they would have had a helicopter, one of the... I forget what it is, and they would have had night vision, and it said, okay, you got X amount of group that are over there setting up mortar. Go ahead.
If I remember correctly, what was it? It was, well, there was three... If I remember correctly, there was three... I don't know if you want to call them requests or not, statements, whatever, made. One was about a helicopter to get them the fuck out. One was about a drone with IR and night vision, which they did end up having, but because of the relays, the guys on the ground had the information prior to the drone ever relaying the information. So the drone was essentially useless, other than funneling information back to the States. The third was F-16s doing a low flyby to scare the shit out of everybody.
Well, that I heard was there was a couple in the area that requested to do that.
I don't give a shit who the fuck requested it. The fact of the matter is, it's not a bad idea. I mean, if you want to say that we're not going to go into armed combat, we're not going to bomb them, we can't take a military action. Okay, well, being an asshole is not taking a military action. Hold on. Okay, so you put on the shoes and now you're good?
It
Really?
is.
You are a redhead terror from hell.
When we talk about Benghazi, it's a very, very touchy situation. It pisses off a lot of people on both sides of the aisles. But for me, it pisses it off because it's the abuse and blatant how we left Americans to die. We left our so many people, and it was not because of they didn't want to start an international incident. It wasn't because they didn't have permission to go in. It was because they were trying to hide the incident because of re-election choices. It came down to Obama saying that the war on terror was done and over with when it wasn't. And if the truth would have came out in 2012 when the incident happened, it probably would have sunk his re-election.
Well, you add to that, what other thing? Hold on. Yeah, you're good. Okay, take the shoes off.
The fun of kids, they love to interrupt. And they know if they're annoying you, they're going to keep on going.
No, they're not. If you're too hyper, go run headfirst into the wall a couple of times.
Make them do laps around the house. Laps around the house. Laps for everyone.
I told them to play in traffic, but we don't have any cars up our street. Anyway, honestly, one of the other things, just to point out, they want to say that, okay, well, people died underneath Bush, people died underneath, our military has died underneath every president from the beginning, essentially. So that's kind of just a silly statement as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, it is.
One of the big things, at least in my opinion, at least in my perspective, in my point of view, is the accountability and the taking of responsibility. Not one.
Oh, this is almost getting comical now. It really is. Shit. I'm having technical issues on my end with the damn headset. Oh, my God. You still there? Crap.
Oh, shit.
Ah.
Did I lose you?
No, I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm having headset issues, so just keep going. You got 4 minutes.
It's the lack of accountability that we have. Okay? It's we're going to cover it up. I mean, they come up with a fabricated fucking story to cover up for the terrorists and hang our guys out to dry? I mean, what the fuck? Yeah, and then the CIA gives them medals for their service, and Obama wants to strip the medals because they disregarded an order? I mean, honestly, anybody that knows anybody in that line of work knows that they didn't do that for a fucking medal. They did that because it was their job. It was the right fucking thing to do, which is a hell of a lot more than you think of the son of a bitch sitting over here taking a fucking nap. I mean, how asinine is it even just to state that? Well, I'm going to take away your medal because you disregarded an order. No, they did what was fucking right. And in the course of doing that, saved a couple of guys. Or at least made a fucking attempt. They didn't go to bed. And people wonder why I'm not going to give this president any credence? Come on. It has nothing to do with anything else than the fact that he's a self-centered, egotistical son of a bitch. He's a piece of horseshit. About it.
Basically, that's what it comes down to.
I didn't mean to go on a tirade for 15 minutes about that movie, but...
No. Everybody needs to go out and see it. It's not a political movie. It is very...
I'll tell you what. Honestly, I'll tell you know what. Anybody that's if anybody saw Black Hawk Down, okay, about the Mogadishu battle in Somalia,
yeah, perfect.
Go watch 13 Hours. Go watch 13 Hours, because I'll tell you what, it's a damn good movie, and it's done in a fairly similar manner to where it's really not politically involved. It's more about the guys. It's about the fucking guys on the goddamn line. Go watch it. It's fucking worth it.
It is. It's a great movie. It's dead on. And there's no exaggeration.
I saw it. I saw it for free, and I'm fucking buying the goddamn thing because I want to own it and I want to be able to. If I want to rewatch that, I want to, and I'm fucking showing it to my goddamn kids. Just the same as I have them watch Black Hawk Down.
You know what? There's
my one daughter that wants to be a combat nurse.
Hey, Kel, what's up?
See that stuff.
Well, there's Kel's in the chat room. I just noticed she's there. I think she just jumped in. BZ. He's got his own show on SHR now. I think it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. And he was saying his wife, when he met her a couple years ago, she was a Democrat. She saw the movie 13 Hours. She left the Democrat Party. She left the Democrat Party because of it. And she's now more conservative. Because it's not blaming anybody, but you could see where what happened in real life, what we saw, and what actually happened, and you can see where their disgusting allegiance lies. And if this was the Republicans, I'd be bitching out the fucking Republicans. I'd be bitching out a goddamn Martian if they did this shit. Yeah. All right, well, it's about that time. Well, let's wrap it up. You got any last words? Dominus Dominus? What?
Good night, America.
You've been listening to the Southside Mutts with its host, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash. We're here every Wednesday, 8 p.m. till 9 p.m. right here on SHR Media. Huh? Well, usually me. Coming up next is Ken, the Exceptional Conservative. And then at 11 p.m., you have the Sackheads Radio Show. Shut up, Crash.
That's not worth listening to.
Yeah. Smart ass. All right, have a great night, everybody. And I'll be back tomorrow at 11 p.m. or 11 a.m. for Reverb Common Sense. You've been listening to the Reverb Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.